Alright guys, the market is quite unstable. Overall, I think we should still see a sell on gold. We see a sell on gold at this very point. It's looking very tricky. What is the nearest supply zone over here? 94 gold. You should see a sell at this very point. Yep. This point. It's very risky. I'm not taking it yet. By the way, I hate selling gold too. The market is very unstable. So I do expect market to drop back to this point. I do expect market to drop back to this point. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Very tricky one. Very tricky actually, but maybe it's worth it. Maybe it's worth it. I hope we do get here. I'm expecting a sale at this very point. I hope market happens to that before selling. So I hope market happens to that zone before selling. So by the way, market opened with aggressive sales to the downside, aggressive push to the downside. Market did recover part of the sell. We sold all the way to this point, 50.21, then boom, back to the upside. And right now, we're just waiting in between that zone. I do expect a sell continuation on gold this week. A sell continuation on gold, but I'm not just going to enter because remember, I do say market gold, especially trades within zone. Alright, it trades within zone. So we took a sell from this point down to this point, and we are tracing back to where is our nearest supply zone. So that is our nearest zone where market could sell from. So, however, we could see reaction up to this point a little bit more. Overall, I do expect the market to sell from this. I do expect it to sell from this zone, guys. This is a supply zone here. I hope market doesn't start selling from the FPG, that is the first value gap. I hope that doesn't happen here. I'm expecting a sell. Let's watch out for it and see.
So guys,
so I'm expecting that sell at this very point.
Yes. You guys should follow anything.
So I do expect a sell from this point. I hope market does tap into it. I hope market does tap into it and give us a sell from here. It might actually start selling from where it is right now, but I hope it tap into this zone. I'm quite interested in this zone because that is the nearest supply zone we've got, and that was where the breakthrough downside happened. The candle the point that initiated the move to the downside. Right. So I'm watching out for. Let's work in between that zone. 95. Yeah, 94, 95 zone. So I'm interested in this zone very much. Interested in it. Let's see how market does react to it. Market hasn't been so stable this week. That's going to be very stable this week. Oh. The market hasn't been so stable because of the fundamentals, the war crisis between Israel, Iran, and US. Quite a lot of manipulations in the market. So I think overall this week we should expect a sell on good. Possibly, but markets could be very tricky sometimes. Markets could be very tricky sometimes. I just take us in and yeah, hey, what's up, man? I'm doing great. I'm doing great. How are you doing, sir? So let's see what happens if market does what has done first. Yeah. So I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Expecting this sell within this zone. I hope it does happen. Then market might start selling before we can get it. I hope it's all not a setup or a trapping for sellers because gold is quite a tricky one. It's quite a tricky one, but this one is very important for gold. This one is very important for gold. It could be a bounce back from this zone. I was going to take this buy, but before I could see it gone up to the upside already. So, and I thought we were going to see a continued sell to the downside. So I didn't enter that buy. But right now that we rejected from this zone, it's just something like this. Just something like this. Something like this. Like this. Like this. So this is my expectation. Almost there, guys. Almost there. So this is my expectation of okay. This is my expectation of growth. We're almost there. We're almost here already, guys. So I'm taking that sell on growth. Let's see how market reacts to that movement. Let's see, let's see. Don't take entry yet. Let's wait for confirmation. I hate selling gold, especially on a small account. If you have a small account, you have to be very careful. So because you're going to be risking or how many pips? This is a lot of SL, right? This is a lot of SL. So that's a lot of SL. So yeah, if you have good accounts that can take in the risk, you can enter the sell. You can enter the sell if you have good accounts that can hold the manipulation because definitely manipulations will happen there. This is quite risky, guys. Taking this sell is quite risky. I hate selling good by the way. So let's check the SY. What is the SY explain? The SY. Uh, the SY is selling. So go to the buy. Like a tricky move, guys. Another tricky move. The SY is selling. It's looking like it's gonna sell. So that is gonna be buy for good. Please hold on, don't buy it. Let me confirm. There's not really a lot of manipulation guys, so you can't just jump into the market. I was jump into the market with no confirmation. Alright, right now. So I think the sell is active. Yeah. So it's going to there's going to be a lot of manipulations into this zone. So if you have a big account, you might be tapped out. Market might come to 5108, or it might just start selling from our zone. So I just start selling from my zone already. So yeah, maybe you can sell already. I'm not. It's up to you. Depends on the account you have. Depends on the account you have. So I think markets will sell from this point. Risking 250 pips. So if you're using a small account, that's already looking about $25. That is crazy. That is crazy. That is a crazy one. If I know I've taken the buy, I've taken the buy from this very cool. I saw it here, 70. I saw it at 70. So it at 70. I hate selling gold for you guys. I hate selling gold. But let's see. Let's see. Let's see how that goes. Just be careful. Just be careful. Just be careful. So yeah, let's switch to sell now, guys. Enter. You can enter a sale now. I think we've played the supplies up completely. You can enter for a sale now. Enter now. Risk wisely. Risk wisely. The risky one, guys. The risky one, guys. The risky one. But even if SO within minutes, yeah. Let's see how this goes. The risky sell. I told you. I'm risky, I want it. It might just be a trap for us. So yeah, it just be a trap for us. See, that one is fishy right now. Yeah, but let's see how that comes out. Let's see how that comes out. See, so if you have a smaller account, you'll be panicking right now already. So that's why, this is why I don't encourage this kind of trade for smaller accounts. So because I don't expect you to enter kind of trade for a smaller account. It's very risky. And gold is very volatile, you know that. So before you can even see that trade is against you and your account is gone. Eventually the trade might even play out. You see the move? See the move, guys. Oh, sorry. Stop sharing my screen. Stop sharing my screen. So this is exactly why I don't like selling gold. Look at guys. Look at Because we straight move. I told you if I get to 108, 108, and that is exactly what is happening. My head of being kicked out of this place. My head of being kicked out of this place, guys. My head of being kicked out of this place, guys. I hate selling gold. I don't like this move. I don't like this move. Market might still sell, but it's going to be lower manipulations. But I don't get back to this point. Initially, I was expecting a buy from this point, but I missed it. I do think we could catch up with this sell, but it's looking otherwise right now. It's looking otherwise right now, guys. So let's see. Let's see how this turns out. And this is why over and over I will say trading a small account with gold is crazy. It's crazy. This this sell is already invalid with this move because this is a bullish engulfing candlestick to the upside. This is a bullish engulfing candlestick covering up all this sell candles. That is crazy. Sorry, that is crazy. That happening is a crazy one. So market might just hold up straight up and just keep buying to the upside. Just keep buying to the upside. But let's see how this turns out. Let's see how this turns out. By the way, this zone as well is a strong zone for buy. That is why gold is buying from this very point. Based on price action, if you take this zone, I must it just when I was about to start the light. This zone is a strong zone for buy, and that's why I was going to take that buy from that particular point. Let me see. And yeah, Mr. What is his name again? Mr. Abdul, hope you are not in the trade yet. I did mention that we just if you have a small account, it's not worth it. It's not worth it, guys. Gold is crazy. Gold is crazy. Gold is crazy. So if you have a small account, let's say just 100 to enter at 5100, and this already I say we should enter at 200, and this is already 15. That is 150 week. I'm going to have taken it off already. So and this is why feeding a small account is good. Feeding good with a small account for that. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. So the sales happen, but always for a sale of good, there's always a manipulation. There's always a manipulation, guys. It's always crazy that it takes out the sellers, then boom, starts to the downside. So for this, based off the zone that we're buying from, and all those be a trap for sellers. All those be a trap for sellers. So let's watch out and see what happens. At the end of the day, the risk is the risk. The risk is the risk. The risk is the risk. Okay. The market still seems like it's expecting the sell flow. You can't say yet until see a good push back to the downside. Right. So quite a good and interesting rejection from that point. Well, market is always very tricky and we just play around and still take us out and start selling to downside. So based on based on trend line, this is quite an interesting story because it's expected the market should come to this zone. Look at guys. Based on trend line, this is quite an interesting stuff here. So this is still kind of a sell for good. Alright, this is kind of a sell for good. Based on trend line, look at what happened. They just a tap on this 1, 2, 3. I know it's put up already. And yeah, that should give us a sell to the downside. Give us a sell to the downside already. That should give us a sell to the downside too. But let's see. We have enough room for the manipulations to happen. That was why I had to use that kind of SL. That I had to use that kind of SL because the manipulations will happen. Yeah, Mr. Abdul, I think I dropped a message. I dropped a message on Telegram. I dropped a message on Telegram. Let me stay on the line. Trading gold with a small account is a trap, guys. So that's especially when I'm selling, I don't advise it. Especially when I'm selling, I don't advise it. So, so if I'm buying, if I buy on gold, I have more confidence on gold when I buy gold. For sale, it's otherwise because Gold is a safe haven trade, safe haven trade, pair rather, and it tends to always buy to the upside. So manipulation does happen for sales, and you wouldn't know, you wouldn't know. So if you're using a small account, we just take you out. I said, imagine this already. If you're using a small account, this will taking you out, and the game is still on already. The game is still on. The game is still on. So let's say it goes anyway. Let's say it goes anyway. Yeah, and here the market is selling. The market is selling already. It's selling already, and hopefully, it does give us a clear move to the downside. So it's still selling to the downside, and this is already 100 pips. So you see why I said it's risky for a small account. I'm still doing up to this trading. It's still very positive. But for a smaller account, probably you will have been out of the market already. Market will have taken you out already. And it will have been like, oh, yeah, the entry is wrong, blah, 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 stuff like that. And but no, that is not the case. The entry is not wrong. It's just basically manipulations that happens. Just basically manipulations that happen. Just basically manipulations that happen. So that's one is very strong though. I do expect market to play around that particular zone. I do expect market to play around that particular zone. And so, just as expected, I mentioned that if you could see a strong bearish engulfing candlestick as well, just as we form this bullish engulfing candlestick to the upside, it's going to be kind of a confirmation for that this market is still going to sell aggressively. Why? And that's exactly what is happening right now. Exactly what is happening. So, because the same way we have this bullish candle confirmation to the upside, to tap into this zone, market is forming the same candle and it's dropping to the downside. So, if this 15-minute candlestick will just close up with this strong move, then we could probably have a retracement back to this point, 5107, thereabout. You guys can start selling from that point. So for now, you wait for confirmation. I didn't wait for any major confirmations. I just come into the market and yeah, it's still my favor. And that's why I kind of use this kind of SL to 50 pips SL to allow all the manipulations within the chart, right? So let's see how this happens. Let's see the close of this 15-minute candlestick. Let's see the close of this. So showing a strong move to the downside already. So we just expect another move to this, push to this upside, possible push to this upside. Why? Because there's another zone for us, guys. On the 5 minutes time frame, this is another zone for us. So 5108, 5107, thereabout. So it could be a very good sell point. It's still very risky, by the way, but I might just watch it. So you can just set your limit at 5108. 5108 zone, 5108 zone. On 5 minutes time frame, you can see how much market has reacted to this zone. Sells, sells, sells. A break above then still sells. So, and that was exactly the same point we sold to this point right now, 2 minutes ago. So there's that zone that we took a sell to this point. So possibly we could see a push back to this point. So that could be your sell limit point by 5188, 5108, 5110, 5108. This could be your sell limit trade. Can set it there. If you are willing to risk this, right? If you are willing to risk it, you just set it there and expect a move to the downside from there. So for now, just chill, allow market to do whatever it's going to do, and we just jump right into it. But overall, I still see more of a sell on this trade. I still see more of a sell on this trade. Especially US oil is buying at the moment. I suppose US oil, because it's just the opposite. When US oil buys, gold is going to be selling. Gold is going to be selling. Okay, yeah. US oil is going to buy back to the upside, possibly. But if US oil is still dropping to the downside, gold is going to continue buying to the upside. So, and the market is just so uncertain. Even the SY is not showing us any. It's not really showing anything very interesting. The SY is showing not very, not very sure of what this guy is doing. To be real, for you guys, I'm not even sure what this guy is doing. Look at for DSY, we have a lot of gap to close here. So it's just look as if we've been raging within this zone. Naturally, if the SY is selling, gold should keep buying. But the SY broke above this point. Yes. Instead of having just facing back to the zone, buy to the upside, market stay sold within this zone and close below it. And probably to just clear out this gap that we had here. And guess what, guys? We haven't closed out the gap completely. So we haven't closed out this gap completely. So the SY could still tap down more than 50s currently. So the SY could still tap down. And if that happens, that is kind of a sure buy for gold. That is a sure buy for gold already. So, but let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. And yeah, let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. Selling good for me is not my thing. For real. It's not really my thing, but sometimes if I see good entries, seemingly good entries here, I can take it whatever the outcome. It's part of the game. Part of the game. So we just close below this zone here. Just close below this zone, and this is very interesting. This is very interesting. If you just see continuous sell to the downside from there, possibly continuous sell to the downside from there. So we can't really see because code is very tricky. Can really see, you just see a flash come back to this point and boom to the downside. So I'm expecting a sell to take place all the way to 50, 20, even below. Because on the 4 hours, market is weak to the upside. And we are seeing more potential move to the downside than to the upside. Look, we have this zone to declare. That is 49.90 zone. 49.90 zone is quite an interesting zone for gold to tap into. Why? And another reason I said I was interested is to look at it. This is quite that. This is zone we are currently 50.81. It's quite an important zone and interesting zone. Or I mean 50.98, 95. It's quite an interesting zone. Market always does sell from that zone. So technically, there should be a sell. Technically, there should be a sell to the downside. There should be a sell to the downside on gold. Technically. But of course, market is always very tricky and will do whatever it has to do. Market is always very tricky. So you can't say. I'm very, very sure about if you're ready to enter this trade or not. If you're willing to go all in, why not? Why not? If you're willing to take the risk, you're willing to take the risk, why not? So, let's see how this goes, guys. Let's see how this goes. So, trading good is it's such a very sweet stuff, especially in this kind of season whereby the market is playing around because of the war crime and all that. The instability in the market is very much, and sometimes the fundamentals is saying otherwise, technical saying buy, fundamental saying sell, technical saying sell, fundamental saying buy. So it's crazy sometimes as well. Oftentimes fundamentals always align with the technical. So for this particular trade, I think I'm still holding on a buy, on a sell rather. I'm still holding on a sell. Market has been struggling to buy to the upside, especially from this zone. Especially from this particular zone, market has been struggling to buy to the upside. So and with this move that just happened right now, it's kind of a confirmation from to me that this market is starting to the downside. So let's see how that goes. Let's see how that goes. In the next few minutes, by the way, this is already after new section, market is going to close and all that stuff. I don't expect any much volume in the market. So I don't expect any much more volume in the market. So we should possibly see that sell happen. We should possibly see that sell happen. We should possibly see this sell happen, guys. All the way to this point. All the way to this point. But it's actually your call, guys. I'm not going to tell you to enter this trade because sales for gold is very tricky. I'm not going to say you should take this trade. I'm not going to say you shouldn't. The call is yours. That's all I can say. The call is yours. Since you are selling, since you are selling, since you are selling. This is looking more like a good sell already. And yeah, looking more like a good sell already. Okay. Looking like a good sell. So if we can just break below this point and we can sustain a good candle close below this point, it's going to be a very interesting move to the downside. So yeah, it seems it's happened already. So I did tell my students to disregard this sell because of this manipulation and kind of painful that the amount of mistake. So this is already 200%. That is basically my major watch out look at what I look out for in a trade. 1 to 2, but this is eventually more than 1 to 2. It's more than 200 pips because my SL is 250 pips, so definitely expect a move up to 500 pips, which is this point right here, at least to this point. So before I can call it a close on this trade. So let's see if I still expect market to still come back to this upside, possibly bounce back from this zone, come back to this upside. Maybe not completely to 51, 10. Maybe not completely down to back to 51, 10, but at least very close by. Maybe back to this zone. Don't put out my video. Okay. Guys, uh, oh, let's say it goes. Let's say it goes. Well, the cell seems strong already. The cell seems strong already. The cell seems strong already. So let's see. Possibly you are going to get another point of entry. Possibly you are going to get another point of entry. Um, unfortunately, this let's see what happens. We are still holding above this zone, and whatever is going to happen is going to be determined. If we break below this zone and market does sell back to this point, I might not see a good entry back at this zone line too. But if market does hold above this point, you should see a move back to this point. Not entirely back to that initial expectation. Something like this, guys. Something like this. Instead, back to the entry, then back to the downside. So, but let's see how that plays out. So, this was my initial drawing I had here to determine this of this area. Look at we had a push to here, and yeah, this is happening right now. This is happening right now. So, let's see. Let's see how that goes. So this zone, if this zone does hold, you might see a move back to this side, or it might just all be a manipulation, just buy to the upside. But I don't expect more they sell on this element a buy. So just a move back to this zone, back to entry, slightly above, maybe get into this within this zone, 5104, 5107, get about back to the downside. So let's say it goes anyways. Let's say it goes. Whew. All right, the move seems to be quite strong. This zone is holding quite strong. Just the same thing we're having all of our time. Back at this point, look at it. Having this move, the same move. So why I say it's very tricky is that it was this same zone that pushed straight outside. Market might just be doing the same thing. They sell blah 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 and just so market might be doing just the same thing and keep buying to the upside. Let's say it goes fairly then whatever happens the risk is the risk. Look at this zone is holding very aggressively. It's holding very aggressively. It's holding very aggressively. And this is why I hate sales. Especially when I want to swing sales, I hate it because I was going to look for my 1 to 2. It was always sure this is already a good trade for me. I'm looking out. But yeah, I'm trying to swing. I'm trying to swing too. Trying to swing and anything is possible when you're trying to swing. If it's for a buyer, I feel more confident buying and holding than selling and holding because man, sales on gold is crazy. Sales on gold is crazy. But it is what it is, guys. Hold on to this trade. We said comes out. My battery is low, guys. Okay. Ibaro, still holding this. It comes out. So that's the retracement. That is the buy limit you all should sell. You also said to join this trade. Very tricky, but very up to you if you are willing to take the risk on it. So it looking like a good sell position, but you know, of course, gold is very tricky. Gold is very tricky. So wait for a tracement back to 5103, anything from 5103 to 5105. You take a sell from there, then allow it right to the downside. Um, just as usual, anything will happen. As usual, anything, literally anything will happen, especially on gold. Don't forget you're trading good, guys. Anything will happen. So always give room to accommodate such. Always give room to accommodate such price. So come on, guys, let me get my charger. Alright, guys. So I think I'll just end this live chat already. So wait out for your tracing back to that zone. As stated, if it does happen, if you can take a risk, you can take a sell all the way from our entry, or just wait for a tracing back to the zone. You can take a sell already, all up to you. The call is yours. But just give allowance for manipulations and don't risk too much. Now the market is yours can trade outside. So you can take a sell at this current market price, you can, but don't risk too much. Now supposed to use 0.05, use lesser than that. I mean the lot size, reduce your lot size and give allowance for manipulations back to the upside. And yeah, allow the market to trade downside. Okay, so bye guys. Thanks for staying by. See you all next time. See you all next time.